from Mercury Human Performance.
Yeah, did you get YouTube up and running?
I did, believe it or not, I did.
She surprised herself again. He's a very interesting gentleman. I had a couple of takeaways that were a little surprising to me. A couple things kind of scared me a little bit about self-defense. What was your takeaway?
I went home and told Todd that I needed to get a knife.
One of those things that Chris was telling us
I
about.
need like stab.
What is it? A
clinch
pick?
A clinch pick. And Todd said, "You're not stabbing anybody." And he said, "Stop saying stab, stab, stab."
Except for Steve.
I did.
Steve.
If you look at our Instagram, we do an Instagram live for those of you that are listening.
She stabbed me with this gigantic kitchen knife.
I stabbed Steve on the podcast, but you'll live. Did you die? No, you didn't.
Did you die? Did you die? Yeah, but some of the statistics and things in average situations that he talked about kind of scares me because, we go about our lives thinking that, all that stuff happens to somebody else, but it isn't always somebody else. Sometimes it comes right into your household.
And I feel like, my misconception at the beginning, it's like it's a bunch of grown men cosplaying, video games, and it really changed my perspective of that. And it's like it's not. It's like real life. You're not in a stagnant situation. You're presented with real life scenarios, and you're able to move because you're not just standing there. Right. You're able to move with your weapon, which I thought that was really good. Yeah,
nobody. It's very rare that somebody has a perfect stance if they're in a situation where they need to shoot their gun, and in an unexpected situation. So you do have to be more. You have to be more aware and make good decisions and be able to move, like he said.
Yes, and when I get my stance correct, Todd Marsh will stop harassing me on social media and telling me.
Well, Chris said the stance isn't that as important because you're moving. Yeah.
Well, Todd Marsh has offered to train me, so I'm sure Dee will be happy.
And he's a former police officer. So he would be the guy that knows. Yeah, but it sounds to me like the MHP that they have a significant amount of people that go in there for training that are women.
Yes,
it's not just men.
I love that. I absolutely do love that. And like I said, the biggest takeaway was the knife versus the gun at first. And I felt comaffortable with that. I was like, my anxiety went.
Well, if you think about it, it does make sense for most situations. I did a little research because after we stopped recording, we were talking to Chris about concealed handgun licenses and how to use a gun, and apparently it's pretty common if somebody uses a handgun even in a situation where they are justified, you may not get prosecuted, but you may get sued civilly, and there's a different barrier for if that impacts your life or not.
They talked about that in my concealed class, and they really pushed the concealed insurance.
It's insurance, yeah. Well, so I did a little bit of research on defensive gun use statistics, which they abbreviate as DGU. It's hard to pin down exactly how many defensive gun uses there are each year, and there's different reports, but the reports vary from as few as 60,000 a year to as many as 2.5 million per year.
Oh, my goodness.
And the reason for that is because if you think about defensive gun use, it isn't just somebody broke in my house, I pulled out my gun, and I shot them and they're dead. It is all the way from that scenario down to you heard a noise in your backyard in the middle of the night and you heard glass breaking and you got concerned and you pulled out your weapon and you went and investigated. That's actually, by some of these reports, considered a defensive gun use. What did you pull up?
This was just 2 days ago. 2 days ago, they something was posted about a man booked for murder after Big Spring shooting, and there was somebody that broke into his home, and the victim forced himself into the home while armed and shot by the suspect, and they are charging him in Big Spring. They're charging him for murder, and this was a self-defense. For home intruder.
What is the situation where that would be considered murder?
I don't understand. I don't understand. So we'll see how this one plays out. It's in Big Spring.
Oh, you know what? It says that they know each other, though.
Well, don't break into somebody's home.
No, I agree. I don't know. I'm 100% with you, but it seems like...
it says it's unclear whether Flores and Lorenzo knew each other. Yeah, unclear. But anyways, I don't know.
There's got to be more to... That's a pretty short story. There's got to be more to that, but that is actually pretty scary. If somebody breaks into my house, your life is in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but there's some interesting statistics here. Civilians are 85% more likely to use a firearm for defense than to be murdered by one. It's
what
likely.
was the percentage?
85%.
Oh.
So if you have a weapon for self-defense, you're 85% more likely to use that to defend yourself than you are to murder somebody.
Wow. Okay.
So the reason I point that out is there's a lot of people in this country that think guns are just murdering people left and right.
Like cars are killing people and pencils are making mistakes.
I thought this one was interesting because of what Chris said. The average distance in a defensive gun use, which means the gun was fired, is 3 yards. That's 9 feet.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
That's the width of our little studio here. I mean, it's pretty close.
Give me my knife.
Yeah, yeah. She needs to feel safe. But you know, the reason this is all important is because some people are looking to outlaw guns completely, but they are used quite a bit in our country to defend. For people to defend themselves.
Of course they're looking to outlaw guns completely because then they'll think we'll shut up and we'll be England.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
Idiots.
Yeah. 56% of gun owners carry their firearms for self-defense purposes. However, only 35%, just over a third, carry their firearms outside their homes regularly. Damn, why was that so hard to get out? So meaning you have a license, you have the gun, and they basically keep it at home. Only a third of the people that can carry a weapon for self-defense.
I have girlfriends that I go out with that carry them almost all the time.
I know a lot of women that carry weapons with them when they go out, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Of the justified homicides in this country, which homicide's kind of a weird word for this, but civilians, so that would be times when somebody was shot and killed, obviously by a weapon, and what the percentage was, 53% of them were civilians and 47% were law enforcement. So those are justifiable deaths by firearms. So
I tell you what, there's a lot going on in the news right now about what's justifiable and what's not. But if you are my opinion, clutch your pearls, get ready. Yeah. That if you are asked to stop and get out of your vehicle by a law enforcement officer,
please do it.
Stop. Get out of your vehicle by a law enforcement officer, whether or not you think you're right or wrong.
These people. And who knows how many of them are really doing it, but these people that are, I know my rights, you can't, you don't know your rights. And you know what? Even if you are within your rights, argue that in front of the judge. Yeah. Don't argue that in front of a mob that is pressing in on 4 or 5 police officers that are trying to do their job, that are under a tremendous amount of pressure. Just go along, just get out of the car, put your hands up, get handcuffed, get taken downtown, then plead your case. Don't get shot. Don't put yourself and your family in a bad situation.
I was listening to somebody on social media. I don't know if I shared this with you or not, but he said that he was a professional protester for many, many, many years, and that he said, look at every single, like he was showing pictures of his mugshots or like news articles of him being arrested.
Very
and he
compliant.
goes, very compliant. My hands are behind my back. Yes, sir. He goes, I knew when I was doing wrong. He goes, yes, I was a professional agitator, but when an officer told me to stop, I stopped.
Yeah.
And I would put my hands behind my back or whatever they asked me to do.
And it goes along the lines of what Chris was talking about. That's a very dynamic situation. That is not a static situation. You got somebody in a car, which is a deadly vehicle or deadly weapon if it's used that way. You've got, people yelling, screaming, whistles, and these police officers their heads are on a swivel trying to figure out if there's a threat somewhere, and they can't see everything all at once. You don't want to put yourself in a situation.
No, I agree.
The people that are doing that, I actually worry about their mental health.
They need to go touch grass. That's what I say.
Yeah, but they also, share that. If you're if you think that's important to do, share that with somebody that loves you and get their feedback on it. I don't think that's a good thing to do. I know you said that to me the other day. You said,
if you have people in your life that love you and you're gonna, I think I'm gonna go,
protest ICE today and drive my car and stop them from doing their jobs. Like,
hopefully somebody that loves you would say, maybe that's not a good idea.
Yeah,
maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm all for public protesting and public grievances, lawfully.
The right to protest is one of the greatest rights we have.
Free
in this
speech,
country. Yep.
absolutely, but don't do it where you're impeding traffic, number one.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I'm going to praise the Austin Police Department because this weekend they were FAFO.
Yeah.
They were not putting up with it. You're blocking traffic, you're going to be arrested. You're going to be taken down.
We need a little more of that, honestly. But we also need some people to step back a little bit and think about what they're doing and realize that they're putting themselves in harm's way. That is not the police officers. That's not the ICE agents that are doing that. You're choosing to put yourself in that bad situation, and you live with the consequences.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what do you got going on?
Well, besides I'm going to Epcot and I'm going to partaking in cocktails around the world. We're taking a friend of mine who's never been to Disney World. She's been to Disneyland, and she's almost in her 70s, and we're just going to have a good time. We're going to have a great time. We're going to take her on rides and scare her and eat food and have a good time.
It's so funny, your definition of fun and my definition of fun, they could not be further apart.
I told you the other day, I said there was this video that said, would you like to go camping? And the background video was somebody pouring a dirty martini, drinking or eating truffle fries, and it says, absolutely not. That is me.
That is you, and I'm I'd like to go camping.
Yes, he would like to go camping.
I want to get away from civilization.
Absolutely. But since I'm leaving the great state of Texas, I thought I would talk a little bit about some Texas news. If you're traveling around Texas, did you know that the Riverwalk is getting their great river clean out this week?
I heard that, yeah.
So I thought it was kind of funny. I've seen it every year. I lived in San Antonio for a while, and it's disgusting. It's gross. I've seen people jump in there. I've had a friend that was waiting tables there that they would jump in there. It's gross, disgusting.
Yeah,
but some of the comments are, oh my God, people are just stupid. Some people are just stupid. What about the fish?
Oh, jeez.
What about the fish? Okay, well, first off, they don't just pour the water out and the water goes nowhere.
Some of those fish are invasive.
They're tilapia. They're invasive.
Well, they're not even native to the area.
They're gross. And they've got 3 eyeballs and 7 fins.
True.
You don't. And they've been drinking margarita and piss for like a whole year.
Margarita and piss.
They're fine. They're totally fine.
San Antonio fish. Those poor fish.
But there's a tunnel that takes the water out and they clean it. Okay, one of the other things that somebody says, why don't they paint the bottom blue? It would be prettier.
God.
Okay, you're dumb. It's a river. Okay, you're dumb. Okay, so that was one of them. I just think it's funny. I love
Everybody's got an opinion now.
They got an opinion.
And they think their opinion's the biggest one in the world, the best one in the world.
What do they say? Opinions are like...
B-holes. Everybody's got one.
And they don't think they're stink, for sure. Okay, and did you know, because I know you're a big football fan there, Steve Mallett, the Houston Texans won their wild card game. Woo! I think they scored something like 23 points in the last fourth quarter. Cedric and I, our teammate, I was sitting there texting him, and I was like, what is up with CJ? Like, our quarterback was sucking air. It was awful. So the defense won that game. But there's some argument that the media is saying, are the Houston Texans the new America's team? Ooh. Have the Dallas Cowboys been bumped after 30 years this year of not winning a Super Bowl?
30 years?
Didn't even go to the friggin' playoffs. I love Dak Prescott. Let me tell you. I love me some Dak. He is a pretty man. But... let me tell you, you're overpaid if you cannot get us to the playoffs. The Super Bowl is being played in Santa Clara February 8th in California, believe it or not.
It's funny, Holly and I were just talking the other day about the Super Bowl. I was like, I don't know who's going to play, and I don't know where it's at, and I don't even really care. That'll be a day where there won't be any traffic on the road for us. I just could care less about professional football.
Let me tell you, some people are predicting that the Houston Texans have a real shot to go there.
That'd be great for Texas, yeah.
And also, Houston. Believe it or not, the Chicago Bears could actually go and wipe out their streak.
What has it been, like the 80s?
Super Bowl Shuffle?
Yeah, the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Remember that?
Yeah, gosh, that was fun.
Okay, so circling it back over to Texas, and HEB has once again earned the top spot grocer in the United States, believe it or not, over Trader Joe's and Costco, believe it or not.
I believe that.
I don't know where their metrics and how they were measuring things, but I'm sure it had something to do with their butter tortillas, which I'm a huge fan of. Because sometimes that's what I eat for breakfast, is just a tortilla.
With butter on it?
With butter.
A butter tortilla with butter on it.
Yeah, and salt.
Oh, have you ever had those with butter and cinnamon sugar?
No, but I used to eat them with ketchup when I was a kid.
Oh, God. Wow.
Yeah. And, there's arguments out there that the HEB brand items are even better than the name brand items.
I would go along with that, yeah. And more unique. You can find some really cool HEB brands that are just your normal Kellogg's or whatever just don't have.
My California in-law family, when they come over, they love them.
I know.
HEB. They
it's
love
like people that come to Texas, they want to intentionally go to HEB. It's not just like, we got to go to HEB. Yeah.
Well, and to wrap up my Texas news, U-Haul just released their 2025 Growth Index. And guess who is number one, once again, of incoming U-Hauls? Texas. Number 2, Florida. Number 3, North Carolina. And number 4, Tennessee. But within the Texas realm, you have Dallas as number 1. Houston, don't do it, it's a trap.
Yeah.
Houston, I think, is the armpit of Texas.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the best place.
Austin is number 3. But, I got to say, look, with all of the issues that we have in Austin and there's a lot of social media influencers right now that are bagging on Austin. Austin isn't what we thought, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to stand on principle and say Austin is still a magical place, and you got to get rid of the noise that's going on, and you got to love your city. And
I complain about Austin a lot, mostly about the leadership of the city of Austin.
It has to do with the leadership.
But the city itself, the local businesses that have been here for years, Kirby Lane and those places.
Katz's Deli is coming back.
Yeah.
And you know what they're giving crap to now, which is Matt's El Rancho.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, come on. Oh, I can't believe people love Matt's El Rancho. You'll wait in line for mid-Mexican food for 2 hours. You know what?
Up.
Screw off. At least then more Margaritas and fajitas
chips
for me.
Chips and
more Bob Armstrong.
But I mean, there are so many cool places. The Barton Greenbelt, Barton Springs, Zilker Park.
Bonham, what is it? Bonham, where you go up, you walk up.
Mount Bunnell.
Mount Bunnell, sorry.
Yeah, Mount Bunnell.
Mount Bunnell.
What a cool place in Austin. We still have a lot of really cool things about Austin. In spite of the leadership of the city trying to run it into the ground, it's still a very cool place, and we're lucky to live here.
It's still beautiful, and you can keep your Houston, you can keep your Dallas, but my heart is in Austin. Love it. And Texas is still the greatest country in the world.
Greatest country in the world, in spite of all the margarita and piss out there.
Absolutely. That's San Antonio. Notice San Antonio wasn't on that list.
Yeah.
Step.
Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you all enjoyed that interview with Chris Wilston today. And please, as always, follow us on Instagram. Go on to Apple Podcast or Spotify and follow us. Leave us a review.
Let us know what you think of our new format.
Yeah. Do you like it where we do the monologue at the end? And if you go to our website, Mallett and Michelle on ds.com, you can also join our email list, and we'll make sure you get up to date on all the things that are happening.
And then, maybe you get an invite to like a private exclusive party that we have where
top secret.
Deep Eddy cocktails and Pigpen food.
At Jovi and South Star Bank.
Sorry, and if you weren't on that list, sorry.
Maybe next year.
All right,
thanks for joining.